So Samsung just dropped the Exynos 2600, and people are actually impressed for once. Like, genuinely impressed. No complaints, no meltdowns, no "why is my phone a hand warmer" drama. And you know what Samsung did? They said, cool, let's not waste a single second. And they've already started cooking the Exynos 2700. Yeah, the next one is already happening. So here's what went down. Samsung's chip design team, these are the people who actually build the chip from scratch, they finished the design of the Exynos 2700 back in late 2025. That's actually earlier than they normally do this. And then, at the start of this year, they already had the first real physical samples of the chip ready, like actual chips you can hold in your hand. And now, those chips have been sent over to Samsung's phone team, the people who actually make the Galaxy phones, so they can start testing everything and make sure it all works properly before it goes into your pocket. The goal is to wrap up all the final development in the first half of this year. That is fast. That is Samsung moving with real confidence. Now let's talk about what makes the Exynos 2700 potentially insane. It's going to be built on Samsung's second generation 2nm process. Now don't let that word scare you. Basically, smaller number means the chip is more efficient, more powerful, and runs cooler. And this new version is expected to be 95% better in process capability compared to the Exynos 2600. 95%. That's not a small jump. That's Samsung basically saying we're not playing around anymore. And on top of that, they're adding something called a unified heat path block. Sounds technical, right? Here's what it actually means. Imagine your chip and your RAM are both generating heat while you're gaming or watching videos. Normally, that heat just kind of sits there and builds up, making everything slow down. The heat path block is basically a highway for that heat to escape faster, so your phone stays cool, stays fast, and doesn't throttle when you're pushing it hard. That's huge for anyone who actually uses their phone for gaming or heavy stuff. Here's the part that really got me though. Samsung is reportedly planning to put the Exynos 2700 in 50% of all Galaxy S27 phones. That is a massive deal, because not that long ago, people were begging Samsung to just stop using Exynos. Remember the Exynos 990? People were returning their phones because of how bad the heating was. The Exynos 2200 wasn't great either. It felt like Samsung's own chip was actually hurting their phones. So they pulled back. They started putting Snapdragon in more and more devices just to keep people happy. But now, the Exynos 2600 has come back swinging. CPU performance is right there with Qualcomm's best chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. And the GPU? Actually slightly better in some tests. And there's been no big thermal throttling drama. No, my phone is burning my hand posts. Nothing. Just it works really well. So Samsung is feeling themselves right now. And honestly, they've earned it. There's also a business reason behind all of this that makes total sense. Buying chips from Qualcomm costs money. A lot of money. And right now, chip prices and memory prices are going up across the board. So if Samsung can make their own chips that are just as good, or even better, why would they keep paying someone else? Using in-house Exynos chips is just cheaper for them, which also means they have more control over their products. It's a smart move. And if the Exynos 2700 delivers on even half of what's being reported, Qualcomm is going to have a real fight on their hands. The Galaxy S27 is still a while away, but the fact that development is this far ahead of schedule tells you everything. Samsung is locked in. They're not going to let this momentum slip. The comeback arc is real, and it looks like it's only getting started.